Hi.
Hi.
Hey, listen. First, forgive me. I'm wildly overdressed. I am. I had a movie premiere tonight, and I have to go to the party afterwards. So that's why I'm wearing this Valentino dress. I don't ordinarily wear this to the Apple Store.
I'm wearing J. Crew this evening.
Well, I just have to say, I have a 2-year-old, and he goes to school, and the kids in school are obsessed with the Freckleface series. I just told Julianne that. And so I'm so excited to find out more about how you took that character and transitioned that idea into the digital space.
Well, it's interesting in the book world when you publish a book and it's kind of out there for a while, and then after a few years it goes to what they call backlist. And so they're really the only way to keep a book and a character alive is to keep it in schools and in libraries and with educators and stuff. But I kind of wanted to take it further because I was sort of seeing what my children, who are older now, they're 11 and 15, were doing. They're actually handed iPads when they get to school. They're doing all their homework on iPads. Pretty soon, I think they're kind of heading for a paperless education. But I felt like it was time to bring this character that I love so much and wanted to kind of keep alive into the digital world. And I felt like, making an app was a first step toward that.
And I was just telling Julianne backstage in the green room that, when my son was born, I was like, oh, kid's book, hey. So it's so hard. Like anyone who's ever tried to come up with a story for a child, it's incredibly, incredibly hard. So how did you take that character and what considerations did both of you, and this is Julianne's partner, have to have when you created the app?
What are the considerations about the character? Well, I think we talked about what we wanted to accomplish in the app. I'm not crazy about games for children, just because we wanted to make sure that we weren't doing something that was sort of mindless entertainment. I wanted to offer a little bit of a story, a little bit of the message of the books, and then a fun activity, an activity that parents would feel good about and that kids could share with others. So this idea of making, the monster character is the one that appears in the second book in Dodgeball, and it's been really popular with kids. And that idea that your monster, it's your imaginary friend, and that the person who keeps you company, or is your kind of alter ego, or is maybe they're your inside feelings, whatever. But you're going to create this monster, and it's going to be fun and friendly, and then you can send the picture to your grandma. That's kind of what we did with it.
And so when Julie and I first met, she...
And how did you guys first meet, actually?
Actually...
Is Diana here?
Diana's...
Where is she?
There she is.
Where?
Right there.
Hi, Diana, stand up. That's our friend Diana Rhoden, and she's the reason that I made an app. Diana, when I was making Game Change, Diana's married to John Heilemann, who's one of the authors of the book Game Change, and we were having one of those conversations on the set, like, oh, what do you do? What do you do? And she's like, well... one of the things I do is I connect people with content to people who can make things happen in the digital world. And I was like, what? I'm like, I don't really even know what that means, but I want to make an app. But literally, I didn't know how you went about this stuff. And Diana said, she goes, I'm going to, I have some people I think you should meet. And we had a couple of meetings, and Andrew was really impressive, and we sort of felt like that was the best fit. But honestly, if I hadn't had that conversation with Diana, we wouldn't be sitting here. So we owe a tremendous amount to her. And it's another reason why you should always say to somebody like, hey, what do you do? Maybe some people think it's a rude question, but
What was your work style like? I mean, do you guys eat, like when you were developing this, email every night? Do you have meetings every day? Do you go to an office? Like what? How does that work?
Well, Julie's the best client ever. No, we had a great time. Actually, so the first part of this was, as with any project, it's really educating the client and getting to know what is it you want to build, and then what are the limitations, because we had to, we had certain constraints. Yeah. So as we went through that process, and Julie was quick, really quick, playing with different apps. I wanted to do this kind of, but not like this app. And so I'd get lists of apps that we like, don't like, and there was a lot of kind of brainstorming. So we spent a while brainstorming, and then as the idea came together, we began talking about how we want the animation to look, and it was what was it? I wouldn't say we wanted it to have kind of an indie kind of, not polished, but yet multiple stage
More like
animation,
stop
not as smooth.
action
Yes.
kind of animation,
Yes.
but an old-fashioned, like
Old-fashioned.
say old-fashioned Disney animation where it's drawn frame by frame, rather than Pixar where it's all kind of very smooth and computer-looking. We wanted to take the picture book and animate it as you'd kind
That's
of
me.
imagine it animated.
And this is my Monster Maker game.
That's my daughter.
Hi,
It's really
I'm
her voice,
Freckleface
yeah.
Strawberry. I have red hair and freckles, and I'm 7 years old. What's your name?
So yeah, you go ahead and say what we were.
So we wanted the children to have. So the intro talks about the character that comes out of the books, and this is where we wanted the kids to interact with the animation. So it's not just sitting here and consuming. It's also different points, typing and writing. So here you just type your name.
Nice to meet you. And do you have freckles too?
He doesn't have freckles.
So when we recorded this. This was. You want to talk about how Liv?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so we were trying to
is
figure out
great.
what we were going to do with the voice. And I said, oh, I think my daughter should do it. She was 10 at the time. And I said, Liv, do you want to do the voice of Freckleface Strawberry? She was like, yeah. And then I thought, oh no, she's never done any voiceover. I don't know if this is going to work. And I was sort of nervous, and we literally did it at my dining room table. Andrew came over with his colleague Lauren, and we all said,
here, right
where's
here?
Lauren? Where are you? Hi, Lauren. So, and we all sat there, just the four of us, and Liv had her headphones on, and I thought, and she was kind of scared.
Yeah.
I mean, she was really terrified. It was very grown up. And it took a few minutes for her to warm up to it, and then suddenly she was really able to do it, and it was exactly what we wanted, and it sounded like a little girl, and it sounded real. It didn't sound like someone who'd had a lot of experience, and it sounded like a kid. So we kind of got exactly what we wanted. And then my daughter had a great experience too, because she was able to do something that was really grown up. When I said to her, the first session was 3 hours or something.
It was long.
And it was very long. And I said, that was real work. And she goes, Mommy, if that's real work, I would do that all day. Aww. So it ended up being positive for her. Yeah.
She was a natural.
Yeah.
I wonder where she gets it. So this is the interactive part. So there's a little intro that explains about the story and Freckleface Strawberry, and then we get into actually interacting with the app. So you select your body.
Ooh, that's cute. You can swipe it to pick a color.
So you swipe through, and you get to pick.
People
all-
tend to prefer furry to scaly, I find. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, but Andrew went with scaly. Okay.
I know. I
Yeah.
Make
switched
your
it up.
monster freckled like mine, or striped if you want.
Yeah.
Touch your monster to add freckles or stripes.
We had silly things like initially we had add spots or stripes, and I was like, please, can we change that? Let's change that to freckles. I really feel like because that's the whole idea with the book. And
How protective are you of the brand? I don't want to say brand, but
Yeah.
brand. I mean, it is a
Yes.
brand.
very,
Yes.
very protective, actually. I mean, I do feel, what's so funny is that after 3 books, I say things like, Freckleface wouldn't do that. Freckleface is not afraid of monsters. Freckleface is afraid of balls. Like, I know what Freckleface's rules are. And I think we want to keep an integrity to her and an honesty to the character, because kids understand that, and I think parents respond to that too. And, she's a regular girl. That's sort of the deal with Freckleface.
For both of you, what's your biggest turnoff with any app?
Sales.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would have to agree. I think, and that was one of Julie's big things. I don't want it to feel as if we're selling anything. I want it to be entertaining and also have an emotional component, a learning experience.
And that's one of the reasons I wanted the app to be free, too. Because I feel like as a parent, my kids are like, Mom, can I have this app? And I'm always like, is it free?
Yeah.
Which is a terrible thing to do. But I think I don't want them just like, spending. So I wanted to build goodwill. It's a way to bring the character into the digital world and to not ask for any money, and to say, like, this is something I want you to enjoy. And I hate those apps where it's like you play it and then you're like, well, but if you want to play, if you
Yes,
want to bake a bigger
$4.99,
cake,
yes.
than buy some baking powder. And I'm like, oh, come on. So we wanted to kind of stay with this.
And I'll ask you one more question before we turn it over to the audience. How do you see this growing? Do you want one app a year? Do you have ideas for further apps?
We do have ideas for further apps. Yeah,
Lots
I'd
of
like
ideas.
Yeah, we do have a lot of ideas. I'd like to keep the character going. I want her to be, what I'd like her to be ultimately is a sort of a trusted brand in the app world that parents and kids know that they're going to get something that's entertaining and fun and educational and good for them, not in a let me jam the education down your throat way, but in a way that we can all feel like it's something that we're all right with watching our kids play with.
We've spent a lot of time thinking about what's next, what direction do we want to go, and actually we've spent, since this has been so well received and we've gotten a lot of user feedback, it's helped us kind of figure out what works, what people want, and we're close to making some big decisions.
Yeah.
Well, all right. I'm sure you guys have some questions.
Hi, Julianne. I'm Evan, by the way.
Hi, Evan.
For the movie Crazy Stupid Love, what was Steve Carell and Jonah Bobo like from your point of view?
They are great guys. Steve is one of my favorite acting partners ever, and Jonah is a great kid. He lives here in New York City, and he's also a wonderful actor. Thank you. You're welcome.
Okay, my name is Jesse. I have a 3-year-old granddaughter, and she loves Tokoba apps. And I think this is much more creative and interesting than any of the Tokoba apps that she plays with.
Thank you. I'm going to take a
That's
look
a
at
huge
Tokoba.
compliment.
I don't know
That's a huge
Tokoba.
com-
They're
that's
not
a
like
huge
it's not like
compliment. Thank
Toki Doki. I know Toki Doki. That's different. Okay.
I can tell you guys, this app is a million times better than all the truck apps that we've downloaded. Find the dump truck, find the fire truck, what noise does the fire truck make? So,
Thank you so much.
I just want to ask, who did the illustrations?
My illustrator, Lewin Pham, who is she's so terrific. And when I was looking for an illustrator, when I first wrote the books, she was the only one I wanted. She had done she works in many, many different styles, but she'd published a book called Big Sister, Little Sister that I thought was absolutely fantastic. And so I was so thrilled when I got to partner with her. And she was the one who did all the illustrations for this app.
I have a quick question for Andrew. How much of a perfectionist is she? Does she keep you up every night
no,
with emails
not at
being
all.
like, no,
not
the
at all.
eyebrows
Not
are
at all.
wrong?
Yes, yes. There were many, many, many exchanges, and we became very, very good friends during the process.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Natalie. Currently, the app is iPad only. Are there any plans to bring it to iPhone? Because I work as a nanny, and I know that the kids I work with would love it, but not only do I not have an iPad, I probably would not be comfortable handing it to a 3-year-old.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
It's supposed to be ready
Yes.
right now, right?
It's
Wasn't it
very,
supposed to
very
be-
soon.
It was supposed to be today.
Oh, clients.
Andrew, it's supposed to be today. Well, what's so funny is that the premiere that I just came from is a movie called What Maisie Knew, and there's a little girl as the lead in it, and she's 7 years old. And she doesn't have an iPad either. And I said, oh, check your mother's iPhone. It's supposed to be ready. We did it. No results found. I was like, I'm going to let
Email
you know.
Andrew.
Yeah, that's right. Email Andrew. But yes, it's supposed to be ready today. It should be ready shortly. But yeah, that's our next move. Because it's true, kids, you always have your phone,
What lessons did you take from creating stories for children that sort of impacted or informed how you approach a script as an actor?
Oh, that's interesting. It's funny. People will always say, did you write these books for your kids, or are these about your children? And the thing about writing a kid's book is that, and just about any children's book author will tell you, they're really writing their own story. That's the embarrassing truth. Freckleface Strawberry is, that somebody wishing her freckles would go away. That's me. Being afraid of dodgeballs but not afraid of monsters. That's me. And Best Friends Forever, kind of about a friendship between a boy and a girl, is really a metaphor for marriage. So, as you're writing these things, you kind of think, you don't know what you're writing, and then you're like, oh, okay, that's my story. And when you are working on a script as an actor, you're also looking for some kind of truth in it. Like, what's the real story? What's the thing in there that we relate to? Because what's most what I found writing books is what's most personal to me is what's going to be most universal. That's going to be what children respond to because there's something real in there, and that's the same thing that you're looking for in a script. That kind of very, very personal thing that becomes the universal truth. Thank you.
Hello. I was just wondering, is there like an artistic element to creating this app for you in the same way creating a role is?
Surprisingly, yes. I think that's what that has been the biggest surprise for me about writing these books and doing this app, how satisfying it is. And my husband said he's never seen me promote anything so heavily. Just in conversation, I'm like, do you know I have an app? It's free. It's free. Do you download it? Do you have any kids? Do you have any grandkids? Do you know any kids? I mean, it's constant. It's really, I've never been like this in my life about anything. So yeah, it is very close to me creatively, artistically. And I kind of, it's almost easier for me to promote it. Because when I'm acting, I feel like it's like right on top of me. I have a little distance from this. It's like we've created it, but it's out there. So I feel easier like telling people to download it.
All right, and let's do one more question to wrap this up.
Do you see this as a movie? And if so, is it live action or animation?
That's a good question. I would ultimately like to have a television show. And the more I think about it, I don't know that it necessarily needs to be something on network television, or I feel like there's also a lot of room in the digital world for webisodes and that kind of thing. I think this was our first foray into animation with the character. I've always felt that she kind of could exist in a narrative like that. So I think we're going to see where this goes. And yes, I don't think live action. I've always thought animation for her. But yeah, you're very astute.
Close.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you, Julianne. Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
guys.
Thanks, you guys.
Thanks for having us. Thanks for coming.